What's up everybody, I'm Typiswag and I beatbox while playing Beat Saber at the same time. I'm going to take you through some Camellia songs, going from easy to a little bit harder and harder with both the beats and the intensity of the song. If you've never heard beatboxing while doing Beat Saber at the same time, it's pretty exciting. Buckle up and let's get into it. So that was the first one, super simple. And I'm going to talk a little bit about just the basic sounds, right? So that's just a bass drum, super simple. You need that for any kind of beat. That one's also pretty simple. Now we start adding in a Pf Snare or a super simple, lots of different ways we can kind of do it. But once we got those two elements, then we can start cooking, making some cool beats. So now we're speeding it up a little bit more. For the most part, the same kind of basic elements. My favorite thing to do in these beats is end with a crash. Anytime you're playing drums, you hear a and I love doing that at the end of a beat or a rhythm. Now we're kind of starting to ramp it up a little bit. The beats are getting a little bit faster. And at this point, when you're playing Beat Saber and beatboxing at the same time, this is where it starts to get hard on the lungs. And so now it becomes even harder because you're trying to make sounds with your mouth while doing it. So it's not the easiest thing in the world, I'll tell you that, and it gets even harder. Okay, I lied, this part is easier. Okay, I included this clip in here though because this kind of introduces a newer sound, which is another super simple sound. Same thing on the drum sets. You kind of see those little cymbals. Those are the Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that section was really tough. Anytime I do that in Light It Up, like boxes, the squares are moving all over the place while I'm trying to like concentrate. That one was really tough. But that's where I start putting in the that's where you can start using those little just makes it way cooler. Let's see what we got next. This is called an inward K. The reason that I love this is because it's actually an opportunity to breathe, and that allows me to keep going. So this is super, super important as I get further and further along, because there's no way to actually do this without still breathing and not fainting at the same time. There you hear, instead of just doing then every now and then when I started needing air, I would go and that allows me to breathe and keep going. If you haven't played Beat Saber before or haven't played Ghost, it's like one of the hardest songs in the game. Maybe that didn't sound very complicated because the beatboxing was still pretty easy, but I started using more of the for the rhythm. But it was really hard because at the same time, my right hand was doing a up, down, the left hand was doing a whole different thing, and then I'm also doing another thing with the beatboxing. So this is where it starts getting almost like you're rubbing your tummy and patting your head at the same time kind of idea, but it's just like on steroids. So that one was actually a lot harder than I made it look. This is where we start doing like, I don't even really know honestly how to do it like slower. It's the same, but then you throw it in with everything else and it sounds super sick when you're going really fast. So, and then you can just speed that up. That was another just kind of example, starting to throw in some of those. love those sounds. I think they're just the most fun thing in the world. You can throw it in so quick, and it fits in almost anywhere. And so anytime you've got a little moment where you want to throw something in to spice it in, I love throwing in those TKs. That one I was just kind of using all the different skills that we just talked about today. Kind of using everything to just make a really cool beat. This is our last clip where I kind of throw in some new stuff that we'll probably be seeing more in the future. That section, we start throwing in one of my favorite sounds, which is the sub bass lip roll. Honestly, that wasn't my best performance. I was just trying to get through the song, and I was so surprised that I made it through that section, going through. And that is actually something that I grabbed from Napalm, so shout out to Napalm. He popularized the, and that's what I was able to use to get through that fast section, and then go into the slower section of. That's all we've got for today. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see more about kind of tutorials and how I do the sounds, drop that in the comments. If you just want to see more beatboxing and Beat Saber, drop that in the comments. I want to know. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.